What if I told you that America was discovered 500 years before Columbus, and the real discoverer was basically a Viking who took a wrong turn? Stick around to find out why this changes everything you thought you knew about exploration. October 9th, we celebrate it as Leif Erikson Day, honoring the Norse explorer who is believed to have reached North America around the year 1000. That's right, the year 1000, 5 centuries before Columbus even thought about sailing. However, what makes this story absolutely delightful is Leif Erikson wasn't even trying to discover a new continent. He's sailing from Norway back to Greenland, where his family lives, but a storm completely blows him off course. Imagine his crew's faces. They're expecting ice and rocks, the usual Greenland welcome. Instead, they spot something incredible: forests, actual trees, grapevines. For Vikings from Greenland, where timber is more precious than gold, this is like stumbling onto a treasure chest. Leif names this place Vinland, which means land of wine, or possibly land of meadows, depending on which scholar you ask. Either way, it sounds a lot nicer than Greenland, which his father, Eric the Red, had named as a marketing ploy to attract settlers. Now Leif does something innovative. He doesn't just plant a flag and leave. He establishes a settlement. His crew builds houses, explores the area, and even encounters indigenous peoples, whom they refer to as Skraelings. For centuries, this entire story has been preserved in Norse sagas, just old Viking tales that historians assumed were exaggerated. You know how fishermen talk about the one that got away? Scholars figured Vikings were doing the same thing. Oh sure, Leif, you found a paradise across the ocean. Did you also fight a dragon? Then, in 1960, something extraordinary happens. A Norwegian explorer and his archaeologist wife discover the ruins of a Norse settlement at Lonsø Meadows in Newfoundland, Canada. Actual Viking buildings, Norse artifacts, carbon dating confirms it. The sagas weren't myths, they were history. Leif Erikson really did beat Columbus by 500 years. Think about that moment. Imagine spending your entire academic career studying these old stories, half believing they're just legends, and then holding physical proof in your hands. The Vikings were here. So why didn't the Vikings stay? Why isn't everyone in America speaking Old Norse right now? The settlement at Vinland lasted only a few years. The Vikings faced conflicts with indigenous peoples, supply line issues stretching across the Atlantic, and honestly, Greenland and Iceland needed their people more. But here's what I love about this story. Leif Erikson's journey reminds us that history is full of these moments. Incredible achievements that don't make the textbooks. Explorers who don't get the credit. Discoveries that history almost forgot. In 1964, Congress officially designated October 9th as Leif Erikson Day, finally giving credit where it's due. Not to diminish the efforts of other explorers, but to expand our understanding. History is richer and more complex than we ever learned in school. And there's something wonderfully human about Leif's story. He got lost, found something amazing, told people about it, and most folks didn't believe him until 1,000 years later when archaeologists dug up his campsite. So, what can we learn from a Viking who got blown off course in the year 1000? Sometimes the best discoveries happen when we're heading somewhere else entirely. Life's detours can lead to extraordinary destinations. Leif didn't set out to discover America. He was just trying to get home. But he stayed curious, he explored, and he paid attention to opportunity when the winds pushed him somewhere unexpected. Have you ever had a wrong turn that led to something amazing? A detour that changed your life? Share your story in the comments below. The History Sparks community loves hearing how the unexpected shapes our journeys. If you're hungry for more stories that rewrite what you thought you knew, hit that subscribe button and become part of the History Sparks family. We're uncovering the hidden chapters of history, one incredible story at a time. Thanks for watching, and remember, the most interesting paths are often the ones we never planned to take.